What is going on, guys? Wait, you guys can't even see me. Hold on one second. I know this looks like a very awkward angle, but in today's episode, we're going to be doing things a little bit different. This is going to be an episode based on simply looking through the entire NFL season, going week by week, making picks and predictions, and seeing who I think is going to be making the playoffs and who I think is not going to be making the playoffs. We're using Sportskeeda. I think that's a really good website to use. I've been using it kind of just looking at projections and all that. And I'm going to be ready to show you what I think about the record predictions for every single NFL team. And the reason why I'm doing it in this fashion is because when I did it in the past, one thing I kept running into is not knowing exactly where each game lies, like who's going to take the loss there and to whom. And in order to mitigate that, we're actually just going to go and see what my prediction is in real time. So I hope you guys are excited for that. And if you are, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. And yeah, let's get into today's episode. We are in this specific interface. We're going to be looking over each and every single game. I'm not going to commentate over why I think they're going to win this game. Sometimes I'll stop by a game and kind of tell you what I think, but most of it you're just going to see me looking through and just interpreting. I'll be talking to myself, so I hope you guys are ready for that. This should be a very fun episode, and this will be the last episode before we get into regular season form. So let's see the predictions. All right, so obviously I think Philadelphia's going to win. I'm not worried about the scores and stuff. I think the Chiefs will win. Tampa Bay, theoretically Cincinnati. Should be Miami. Jacksonville. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with New England at home. I think Arizona will win. Ooh, actually, I'm going to go with the Jets to win that one. A little bit controversial, but we'll do it. Oh, Washington. Didn't need to think twice about that. Denver, same deal. San Francisco or Seattle. I'll go with Seattle at home. And then this is a lot closer. I'm still going to go with Detroit. I think Detroit is a lot better. Houston or I'm going to go with LA, assuming Matthew Stafford starts. Oh, that's going to be a good game. I'm going to go with Buffalo. And then lastly, Minnesota. By the way, as a premise, I want to just let everybody know that my predictions will change week by week. So what you see here is not a set in stone prediction center. This is just my early preseason thoughts. I'm going to make videos about each and every single game and prediction, and they may not even be the same. I might even change my mind on this right here in the first week, but this is right now gut instinct. I hope that clears up things as we continue. But early on, I mean, very interesting playoff picture. Washington or Green Bay? That's a good question. I'm going to go with Washington. Baltimore should win that game. In theory, Cincinnati should win that game, but because it's early season, I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I just don't think Cincinnati should lose to Cleveland. We're going to go with Dallas to win that game. Detroit or Chicago? Detroit. Even though that one's going to be a pretty interesting one because of Ben Johnson, but we'll see how that goes. New England or Miami? Assuming all stays healthy, let's take Tua in Miami. I'm going to go with San Francisco, Buffalo. I'll go with Pittsburgh on this one. I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm actually going to go with Carolina in an upset here. Denver. And then the Super Bowl rematch. Ooh, I'm going to go with Philly to win that one. I think Philly's offense overall is a lot better. Atlanta or Minnesota? I'm going to go with Minnesota. I think their defense is a lot better. Tampa Bay or Houston? I'm actually going to go Tampa on that one because I think that Houston has some issues and they're not going to have Joe Mixon around this time, so I think Tampa Bay wins that one. And then Chargers or Raiders? I'm going to go with the Raiders in an upset. Week 3, Buffalo or Miami? Give me Buffalo. I'll go with Atlanta here. Green Bay should win theoretically right there. Jacksonville or Houston? I'm actually going to go with Jacksonville to win that one in Jacksonville. Bengals. I don't think the Bengals, theoretically, they should not start slow again. If they do, that's going to be embarrassing. I'll go with the Patriots here. Rams or Eagles easily. Jets or Buccaneers. Bucks. Colts or Titans. I'll go with the Titans on this one. Commanders. I'm going to say Chargers at home. Seattle or New Orleans? I'm going to go with Seattle. because New Orleans is starting Spencer Rattler early off. I do think they'll have some offensive moments, but I don't think they're going to start good. Dallas or Chicago. I'll I'll go with Chicago on this one as a gut instinct. Give me San Francisco, give me Kansas City, and then give me Baltimore on that one. Week 4, Seattle and Arizona. I'll go with Arizona. Then give me Minnesota, Washington, Buffalo, Detroit. Texans should win that one. I'm going to give it to New England, actually. Chargers. This is going to be a really close one, but give me the Buccaneers at home. Let's go with the Rams here. I think the Colts are going to be really bad this year. It's in San Francisco. It's in the Bay. I'll go with the 49ers. Baltimore, Kansas City. Give me the Chiefs. Give me the Bears. Sunday night between Green Bay and Dallas. Give me Green Bay. And then I'll go Miami. And then I will go with... Oh, that's a good matchup. I'm going to go with Denver. I think Denver's defense shines. Week 5 is a good one. I'm going to go with the 49ers in an upset here. I think it would be an upset in LA. So I'll go with the Niners. Minnesota, I think, continues to be very strong. Houston and Baltimore. I will go with Baltimore. Houston starting off 1-4 would be atrocious, by the way. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. That just feels like... Yeah, I think I gotta go Miami here. Colts or Raiders? I'm going to go with the Raiders. Giants or Saints? I'll go with the Giants. Cowboys and Jets, give me the Cowboys. Broncos and Eagles. These are like 2 of the best defensive teams in the NFL. I'll go with Philadelphia. Tennessee and Arizona. I'll go with Tennessee. I'll take Tampa Bay over Seattle any day. Cincinnati over Detroit. I will go with Cincinnati. Washington and LA. I think the Chargers will hand Washington their first loss. Buffalo easily in this one for me. And then Kansas City, Jacksonville. Do I go upset here? I think I'm going to. I'm going to take Jacksonville. I know, that's very unorthodox, but I think there's going to be an upset right there. All right, we're in week 6 now. Looking at the... Philadelphia easily. Give me Denver. That's also a very easy one. This one's hard, though. I'm going to go with Baltimore because they're at home. Give me Dallas. I'll say Indianapolis gets a win here. Seattle and Jacksonville. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. Chargers and Miami. Give me Miami at home. I'll go with Pittsburgh in this one, though I'm not very happy about that. Tampa Bay or San Francisco. Does San Francisco hand Tampa Bay their... Does San Francisco hand Tampa Bay their first loss? I'm going to actually say no, and the Buccaneers remain undefeated. I'm going to say the Titans or Raiders. Titans or Raiders. I'm going to go with the Titans. I think the Titans will actually be a little bit better this year, or at least significantly better. Bengals or Packers. I'll go with Green Bay at home. Saints and Patriots. Give me New England. Detroit and Kansas City. Ooh, that's a nice one. Oh, I'm going Lions. Yeah, I'm going Lions. And then Buffalo and Atlanta. Give me Buffalo. And lastly, Washington and Chicago. Give me Washington. That's easy. So following the first 6 weeks, I have Tampa Bay undefeated, and I have I have Buffalo undefeated. Everybody else not undefeated, which is just interesting. Washington higher than Philly, but this is based off like what the playoff picture is suggesting. So yeah, this is what it looks like right now. This would be a really tough playoff to go through overall on both sides. Jacksonville being that high feels wrong, but I just think Jacksonville's going to be a lot better. And Kansas City being lower than Denver, well, keep in mind, it is early. Pittsburgh and Cincy, give me Cincy. I'll take the Rams in this one. I think the Rams offensively would be better than Jacksonville. Chicago or New Orleans, I'll go with Chi-Town. Give me Miami. Give me the Chiefs. Philadelphia by principle. I mean, I do think that JJ McCarthy will be really good, but I don't think against the Eagles defense he'll have composure. So I would say that the Eagles win that one. That's a really good matchup, by the way. Top notch. Carolina or New York? I'm gonna go with Carolina. I'm feeling a little optimistic about the Panthers in that regard. Oh my God. Those are, right now I just think the Buccaneers are gonna run away with this. Patriots or give me the Titans, actually. That's where I think the Titans start to have a good mid-season performance. Give me Denver. That's easy. Homecoming for Russell Wilson, but it's going to be spoiled. Denver's a lot better. Give me the Chargers, I guess. I don't know how I feel about the Chargers this year. They should be good. I hope Omari and Hampton is really good. Arizona or Green Bay? I'll take Arizona in upset here. Dallas or Washington? I'm gonna take Dallas at home, assuming healthy. By the way, I'm not accounting directly for future injuries. It's just what I see right now, the reports I hear. But Dallas, I'll take them there. Atlanta or San Francisco? Give me San Francisco. Tampa Bay or Detroit? I will go with. I'll say the Lions hand Tampa Bay their first loss. Then leave Seattle and Houston. Give me Houston. And that does it for week 7 overall. A lot of home wins. All right, week 8, we have Minnesota and the Chargers. I'll go with the Chargers in this one. I'll say sleeper. Give me Atlanta in this one. Chicago, Baltimore, easily. Buffalo, easily. Give me the Bengals. Let's go Houston. Give me. I'm going to go Houston on this one. Give me the Patriots. Give me the Eagles again. The Giants are just. They're not going to be that great this year. These are generally really close games. I'm actually going to give New Orleans the win on this one, even though it feels unorthodox. I just think that when these games come to New Orleans, it's hard for Tampa Bay overall. So I'll go with the Saints on that one in an upset. Dallas or Denver, give me Denver. Tennessee or Indianapolis, I'll go with Indianapolis at home. This is another one of those rivalry close games. Green Bay and Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers revenge game, I'll say he gets it. And lastly, Washington and Kansas City. A little bit of a shocker. I'm going to actually go with Washington on this one. Overall, I think Washington is a really strong team going into this year. They just got Terry McLaurin signed back, so that's really good for them. Okay, I'm going to go with Baltimore. You go with Cincinnati on this one, and then I'll go... Ooh, tough matchup. I'll go with Detroit. I'll go Green Bay here. And then I'm going to say Denver over Houston. Give me Atlanta in this one, actually. I do think New England runs into some trouble midway through. San Francisco, I'd be very comfortable picking them over New York. Pittsburgh or Indianapolis? I'll go with Pittsburgh. And then between the Chargers and the Titans, I'll go with the Chargers. Give me the Rams. Jacksonville or Vegas? I'll actually go with Vegas in an upset here. Kansas City or Buffalo? Ooh, big game. It's in Buffalo. It's regular season. Give me Buffalo to beat Kansas City in that one, which puts Kansas City at a losing record. Interesting. Washington or Seattle? I'll go with Washington. And then Arizona versus Dallas. I'll go with Dallas. Assuming Micah Parsons is on the team, I think he will be, but we'll see. So halfway through our predictions, I have Philadelphia at 1 with a 7-1 record. Detroit's at 6-2. Tampa Bay is at 6-2, and San Francisco's at 6-3, with Washington at 7-2, LA at 5-3, and Dallas at 5-4 as the better records right now. So halfway point, you got 3 NFC East teams, and then with the AFC, I still have Buffalo undefeated as the only undefeated team, with Denver 7-2. Baltimore at 6-2, and then the Jaguars at 5-3, really kind of close division, but slightly running away. With Miami at 6-3, Cincinnati at 6-3, and the Chargers at 6-3. No Kansas City, but we'll see how that goes. Now we're on to week 10. Give me Denver at home. Give me, I'll go with Atlanta here, and then Carolina and New Orleans. I'll go with New Orleans. Give me Chicago in this one. I'll say Houston wins at home, which will actually make it really close. I'm going to say Miami hands in the loss, assuming Tua stays healthy. It is in Miami, so there could be an advantage there. Baltimore, Minnesota, give me Baltimore. And then Cleveland and New York, give me New York. Give me Tampa Bay in this one. I think Tampa Bay is sitting pretty comfortably right now. Arizona and Seattle, give me Seahawks right here. And then LA and San Francisco, I'll go with LA as a switch. Detroit and Washington, give me Washington. I think that Washington ends up beating Detroit again. Pittsburgh and LA, I will go with the Chargers on this one. And then with Philadelphia and Green Bay, I'm going to go with Philly. And they continue to sit at the top spot. Jets and Patriots, give me New England. I'll go with Miami. In Miami over Washington. And then Carolina and Atlanta, I'll go with Atlanta. Tampa Bay and Buffalo, I'm gonna go with Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo is where I'm comfortable with. Chargers and Jaguars, I'll go with... I'm gonna take the Jaguars at home. It pads the stats there. Then I'll go with Vikings again. Packers. And then you got Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati. I think that they'll start moving in the stride right now. And then Houston, I'm going to go with Houston there, and then I'm going to say Arizona in an upset over San Francisco. And then we're going to go with the Rams here. Baltimore and Cleveland go with Baltimore. Kansas City and Denver, I'll go with Kansas City on this one. Yeah, we'll go with Kansas City. And then you got the Lions and the Eagles. Give me Detroit on that one. I kind of want to see that. I think Detroit would win that one. And then Dallas and Vegas, I'll go with Dallas. All right, in week 12, Buffalo or Houston, give me Buffalo. Baltimore or New York, give me Baltimore. And then Pittsburgh and Chicago, I'll go with Pittsburgh in this one. That's generally when the Steelers start to try to get that positive record going. And Cincinnati and New England. Went New England's favor last year. I don't think it happens again. I'll take the Bengals. And we got a real race going on in the AFC North right now. And then we got the Giants and the Lions. Give me the Lions. Packers and Vikings. I'm going to go with Packers at home on this one. Indianapolis and Kansas City, give me Kansas City. And then with Seattle and Tennessee, I'm going to go with Seattle on that one. Jacksonville and Arizona, give me Jacksonville. Cleveland and Vegas, I'm going to go with the Raiders here. And then Dallas and Philadelphia, I'm going to say it's a split. Dallas wins here. It's generally what happens when the teams are healthy. There's always a split. And then Atlanta and New Orleans, I'm going to go with the Saints in an upset, which hurts Atlanta's chance to catch up to Tampa Bay, who ends up playing LA. I'm going to take the Buccaneers to win that one. I just had myself a cramp. That's nice. And then the last one, we'll go with San Francisco, 7-5. Green Bay and Detroit, I still will go with Detroit there. Kansas City and Dallas, that's painful as a Cowboys fan. I'll go with Kansas City there. Bengals and Ravens, I'm going to go with the Bengals on this one. Always a tough game when those two play. Chicago and Philly, give me Philly. LA and Carolina, give me LA. And then I'm going to take San Francisco. Poor Cleveland, sitting at 0-12. I'll take Houston. Miami and New Orleans, I'll go with Miami. And then I'm going to actually say the Jets, which derails Atlanta just a little bit. We'll go with Tampa Bay. I'm actually going to say the Titans on this one. And then I'm going to say Minnesota wins that one. It seems Sam Darnold's not going to beat his former team again. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Buffalo and Pittsburgh, give me Buffalo. Denver and Washington. Battle of the rookies. I'm going to go with the better rookie. Go with Daniels over Bo Nix. And then New York and New England, give me New England. Dallas and Detroit, give me Detroit. It's unfortunate, but yeah. Atlanta or Seattle, I will go with Atlanta because Atlanta's at home. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Does Pittsburgh pull off the upset? No. Tennessee versus Cleveland. I'm going to say this is where Cleveland gets its first win, is against Tennessee, which also hurts Tennessee's late playoff hopes. Chicago and Green Bay. Give me Green Bay. Never trust Chicago over Green Bay. Indianapolis versus Jacksonville. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. Washington and Minnesota. I'm actually going with Minnesota to win that one in Minnesota specifically. Miami versus New York. I'm going to go with Miami there. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Because it's Tampa Bay, we're going to get a split. Tampa Bay wins. Denver or Vegas. I'll actually go with Vegas on this one. I think they'll catch Denver sleeping, which Denver has sleeping moments, so we'll see. Rams versus Cardinals. Another sleeper. Give me the Cardinals at this very point. Cincinnati and Buffalo. Give me Cincy to win that one. Like Joe Burrow in these matchups a lot. Kansas City, Houston. Give me Kansas City. And then Philly versus the Chargers. I'm going to say Philly wins. Yeah, I think that's the right way to go. So after week 14, take a look at this. Detroit's at number 1 with Tampa, Philly, and then the LA Rams, which was kind of the order, except these two were flipped, with Washington, San Francisco, and Green Bay also in the mix. Basically most of the playoff teams from last year, except for San Francisco, who wasn't in, and instead Minnesota was in. Then on the AFC side, still have Buffalo high at 11-2, with the Bengals right behind at 10-3. Then 8-5 Jacksonville, and then 8-5 Kansas City with 10-3 Baltimore, 10-3 Miami, and 8-5 LA Chargers. Week 15, give me Tampa. Cleveland and Chicago, I'll go with Chi-Town on this one. And then Baltimore and Cincinnati again, I'm actually going to say the Bengals sweep that series. which ultimately hurts Baltimore in many ways because at this point they have the full tiebreaker if they do tie in record. Arizona, Houston, give me Houston. Houston's going to try making a late surge. New York and Jacksonville, give me Jacksonville, which will hurt the surge. And then you got the Chargers, you got the Chiefs. I'm going to go with the Chiefs here. With Buffalo and New England, give me Buffalo. And then Giants and Commanders, give me Commanders. And with the last few games, obviously I'm taking the Eagles over the Raiders. That's a no-brainer. And then Broncos over Packers, I'll go with... And then here, I'm going to go with the Rams on this one, making it very close. Detroit. And then Carolina, New Orleans, I'll go with New Orleans. Indianapolis and Seattle, I'll go with Seattle on that one. Tennessee and San Francisco, give me the 49ers. Then we got the last few games, Dallas and Minnesota. I'm going to go with Minnesota on this one. And then with Pittsburgh, Miami, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh in an upset. And we're getting close. Rams versus Seahawks. Oh, actually, hold on. Seahawks, revenge game. Green Bay over Chicago, give me Green Bay. There's no revenge there. With Washington and Philadelphia. Ooh, that's a big game. I'm going to actually go with Washington at home. Let's put Washington at the number 2 spot. And then New England and Baltimore, give me Baltimore. Tampa Bay and Carolina, give me Tampa. Buffalo and Cleveland, no-brainer. Chargers and the Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Cowboys on this one. Try to keep it close in that fight for the playoffs. And then Jets versus Saints. Give me the Jets on this one. Minnesota, New York. Come on, give me Minnesota. Kansas City versus Tennessee. I mean, yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas City, of course. Tennessee, bro, a lot better this year, even though they're still 5-10, but they are a lot better. Atlanta and Arizona. I'm going to go with... in this case, give me Arizona, actually. Jacksonville and Denver. I'm going with Denver's defense on that one. Pittsburgh and Detroit. Give me Detroit, and that would break Pittsburgh's winning streak as far as... Since 2003, they've always had a winning record. I think it ends at the hands of Detroit, who is still trying to fight for a number 1 spot. Raiders and Texans. I'll go with the Texans here, which puts it a lot closer in this division. Cincy or Miami, I'm gonna go with Cincy. And then lastly, San Francisco and Indianapolis, give me San Francisco. We're almost to the end here. Dallas and Washington, give me Washington, in Washington specifically. Detroit or Minnesota, I will go with the Vikings at home, a lot closer. Denver or Kansas City, this basically determines who takes the division. I'll go with Kansas City. Doesn't put Kansas City in the greatest spot, but still, I think the Chiefs will win there. Seattle and Carolina, give me Seattle. Arizona or Cincinnati, the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to be really dominant this year. Not necessarily on the defensive side, but they have an incredible offense at hand, so you got to give them that. Baltimore and Green Bay, give me Baltimore. Houston and LA, I'm going to say give me the Chargers. Giants or Raiders, I'll go with the Raiders. I think the Giants are going to be horrible. Pittsburgh and Cleveland, I'll go with Cleveland on this one, just to cement Pittsburgh not having a great year overall. Jacksonville and Indianapolis, give me Jacksonville. Miami and Tampa Bay, that's going to be a really tough matchup. I'm going to go with Miami because it doesn't really matter at this point. Tampa Bay is making the playoffs, but it does hurt Tampa Bay's chances at... This is going to be a close one. I'm going to go with Miami. It doesn't really hurt Tampa Bay, except for the fact that Tampa Bay is still trying to play for the number 1 spot, and that does hurt them a bit. But yeah, I do think that Miami will win that game. New England or New York? I'm going to say New England, even though they're mathematically out of the playoffs. New Orleans or Tennessee? Give me the Titans. Philly or Buffalo? Because it's in Buffalo, I'm going to give it to Buffalo. And then with Chicago, San Francisco, I'll go with San Francisco. And lastly, give me the Rams over the Falcons. So prior to the Week 18 prediction, Washington and Tampa are tied at 12-4. Washington has the advantage. Detroit and San Francisco are tied at 11-5. They have the advantage with Philadelphia not too far behind. And neither are Minnesota or LA. And based off the rankings, these are the teams that are going to be in the playoffs because nobody else has enough to catch up. So that sucks for all the other teams, including my Cowboys, but oh well. And then over here you have Buffalo at 14-2, sitting pretty, but not completely comfortable since they don't have the tiebreaker with Cincinnati. So if Cincinnati was to win and Buffalo were to lose, then that would mean that Buffalo would be number 2 and Cincinnati would be number 1, assuming, and because they have both wins over Baltimore, they're not going to be over Baltimore even if they tie in record. And then basically Jacksonville has secured the South, so they will be in the South. And then you got some close ones, but overall the Chargers are still in play as a wild card spot, so let's see how that goes. Game doesn't matter. Give me Atlanta. Though they shouldn't be winning, but give me Atlanta. Easy matchup. So Buffalo will secure the number 1 spot in my prediction. Detroit and Chicago, I will go with Detroit, which will secure them the division. Cincinnati and Cleveland, give me Cincy, and Cincy will secure the number 2 spot. LA versus Denver. I'm going to say Denver wins, keeping the pressure on Kansas City. Houston and Indianapolis, I'll say Houston wins, even though it doesn't matter at this point. I'm going to say because Jacksonville still could play for a better position, Jacksonville will beat Tennessee. I think LA is going to win against San Francisco. I think LA is going to win against Arizona. I'm going to say the Chiefs do win against Las Vegas, and with that you basically have a secured notion over here once it decides it wants to load up, and that will basically settle that with Buffalo, Cincinnati, Kansas City, and Jacksonville securing spots. Green Bay versus Minnesota. I'm gonna say Green Bay wins that one, holding Minnesota back, but Minnesota will still make the playoffs, so it doesn't affect them. Miami should theoretically win, but I think they're going to lose that game against New England. It doesn't matter. They'll still make the playoffs, but won't have a better seed to look at. Dallas versus New York. I'll go with Dallas. It doesn't help them at all. They won't make the playoffs. And then Washington and Philly. This is really the big one. There's still some matchups left. But I'm going to say Philadelphia wins at home, and they secure their spot, but they are sitting at number 3. Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. It really is not going to matter for the Ravens either way, so I think they lose to Pittsburgh, and they'll still go to Jacksonville. And then you got Seattle and San Francisco. I'm going to say San Francisco wins this one for better seeding, even though it does not help them with seeding. And then lastly, Tampa Bay wants to secure the number 1 spot. I think they're going to win, but let's say that they lose that game. If they were to lose, that would keep them at the top spot. Winning ultimately does put them at the top spot, which I think they're going to win. And with that, that is my entire bracket. Take a look at this. So I have Buffalo going at number 1. Cincinnati is just a record shy. Kansas City at 12-5. The Jags at 11-6, with the wild cards being Baltimore at 12-5, Denver at 11-6, and Miami at 11-6, which means that Miami would play Cincinnati, Denver would play Kansas City, and Baltimore would play Jacksonville. And that also meant that both Houston was already out. The Chargers could have made a splash back in, but they lose to Denver in the last week. And then New England's at 9-8. Pittsburgh loses its winning streak of seasons, I guess. Tennessee does better, but still no. The Raiders do better. The Jets are bad. And then Cleveland and Indianapolis are horror shows. And then you switch over to the NFC. I think that Tampa Bay is actually a lot underrated than we expected. I think that the Buccaneers will take the number 1 spot, which doesn't really mean much. Obviously, they get a bye, but that doesn't always work in their favor. Detroit will finish 12-5 with Philly and San Francisco all at 12-5, and in that specific order, with Washington being 12-5, but loss to Philadelphia hurts them. The Rams at 11-6, and then Minnesota at 10-7, and they were already secured. Green Bay and Dallas at 9-8, Atlanta and Seattle at 7-10, Arizona's at 6-11, Chicago's at 5-12, New Orleans at 4-13, Carolina's at 2-15, and then New York would have the number 1 pick in the draft as they go 1-16, and that is ultimately what I have as the predictions. And that'll do it for today's episode. I generally don't sit down. I just wanted to do it like this because I thought it would be more fun to see how I have the season going from a preseason standpoint. and this was extremely fun to make. So I thank you guys so much for watching again, and if you do, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe, and go follow me on all my social medias. Next week, we are going to be starting our week 1 projections. I want to kind of lay out a little bit of some ground rules here. I'm only predicting games that fall on a Friday, a Sunday, Saturday, and a Monday night. Thursday night games will have their own special short in prediction. But I'll be going through all the games that are happening on the weekends and on Monday in my main episode. That's how we're going to be doing things. Episodes now are going to be coming out at 6 p.m. Central Time on a Friday rather than 3 p.m. Central Time on Friday. So that's going to be a big change. Hopefully it opens up more short opportunities. We'll see how I go through with shorts. But I already predicted college football week 1, which will be happening. It's already in full motion when you're seeing this episode. So I hope you guys are excited for that. And I'll be trying to watch as much college football as possible. But yeah, let's get excited for the season. My weekly episodes will be predicting all the games throughout that week that fall on the weekend, plus looking at my fantasy football lineup overall. So I hope you guys are excited. And if you are, I hope you guys are ready for this year. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, take care, and goodbye.